Really, Lawnmower? Welcome back, G Nation. It is your favorite nurse, Jasmine, and I'm back today with a new video. And today's video is going to be all about why I love nursing. I'm not your typical nurse where I come on here and I always share the positives and the good things about nursing. I try to give you guys the real, the reality, the behind the scenes. But in retrospect, I think it is necessary for me to share with you guys all the positives and the good things about nursing as well, because it is not all bad. It's just I like to show you guys like real, raw, uncut reality of nursing. I don't want it to come off as being negative and I don't love my job. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm basically going to share with you guys all the positive things and all the reasons why I love nursing and I love what I do. So if you are interested, continue. The main reason why I love my job is simply because I love what I do. I love all of the hands-on critical thinking aspects of nursing. I love doing procedures, assisting with central line placements, removing sutures, removing staples, helping the doctor remove chest tubes, any hands-on aspect. I mean, putting in NG tubes, putting in IVs. Like, I love putting in IVs. I love to do all of those things, and I know every single thing has a purpose, and it is ultimately the patient getting better and assisting with their managing their diagnosis or managing their disease process. Like, I absolutely love doing it. So if I get any kind of order to do any kind of procedure or assist with any kind of procedure, like, that is my favorite part. I don't like when nurses say, or other people say, anybody can pass meds. Like, yes and no. Because at some point you have to use your critical thinking skills to say, okay, is my patient suitable for this med? Regardless of if they've taken this medication every single day for like the past 5-10 years. When they're in the hospital and they're under your care, you have to think, is this medication okay in this situation? And that is something as an ICU nurse that I absolutely love to do. To determine whether the medication is necessary or not with the physician's orders, not me determining did this patient get prescribed this medication or not. But if it's a home med, if it's appropriate at this time, calling the doctor to say, hey, A, B, C, D, and E is going on. I think, or I recommend that maybe we should try this med, or maybe we should try this, or could you tell me what we should try, or what do you think is necessary? That is something that I know some nurses do, some nurses don't. I know there's some nurses that just, if it's on the med list and it's a time medication, they're going to give it regardless, unless there are whole parameters for like blood pressure medications. But some nurses just, you know, they just like, look, you're going to take all these meds. I'm not that type of nurse. It's just not in me. I value my license and I value these patients' lives. So I try to make the best decisions possible, the best nursing judgment possible when dealing with my patients and their medications. So another reason that I love nursing is simply I love to see patients get better. Being in a high acuity setting or a more critical setting, it is two options. Either the patient's going to get better or they're not going to get better. And I love to be there for both parts. I love to be there when somebody has came in and we thought they weren't going to make it. They've been intubated. They've been on all these medications. And then you get to see them downgrade to either like a tele unit, a PCU, or a med-surg unit, where they'll eventually go to rehab or they'll go home. But you see them from their absolute worst to when they get better. And I love that, to know. I know a lot of people aren't into medicine and a lot of people don't believe in it anymore. But I do. I believe in medicine and I believe in like spiritual and home natural remedies. I think that they both work well together. And whichever way we go and whichever way we have to treat the patient, I just love to see them get better. I do deal with a lot of CMO, so comfort measures only, end-of-life care, hospice, palliative care, whichever one that the patient is in. I also like to be there to make them as comfortable as possible, to help that transition to death, to hold hands, to be a shoulder for family to cry on, to answer any questions for the families, and try to make that process as easy as possible, because that is the most difficult situation for any family to be in, is to see their loved one passing away and there's nothing that they can do, and then there's nothing else that we can do. Death is inevitable. It is a part of life. We're all gonna die eventually. So if I can be there to help that patient be in as less pain as possible, then I feel good. As bad as that sounds, it just makes me happy, and I know that it helps families out a lot from them personally telling me. So like I said, I love to help my patients in both ends of the spectrum, whether it is they get their life back or, you know, it's the end of their life. So since we're talking about families, I am here to say families are not always the easiest to deal with or the easiest to get along with, and most of it is just because they are stressed, they are scared, and they don't really know what to do. So me being Jasmine, I love to educate families. Whether they get it or they don't get it at the end of the day, that is up to them, is whether they're open to it, they're receptive of it. But I love to educate within my scope of practice, and I love to explain why we're giving a medication, why we're doing a procedure, why this patient needs another IV, why we're doing so many lab draws, why this antibiotic was chosen over this antibiotic. I mean, something as simple as why are you placing a Foley? Like, families have a lot of questions, and I like to educate them and give them as much feedback. Is it always at the right time? No. And do they always do it with a smile on their face and kindness in their hearts? No, they don't. But I like when I'm explaining something, I'm educating them, and they can legit teach it back to me. They can legit say what I said and it makes sense to them, and then it put them at ease. And sometimes that's all they need, and their attitude goes from like 100 to 0 real quick. So yeah, that's something that I really I like to do. I like to educate. So we're just gonna wrap this up with the last thing that I love, and it is usually my work besties. Like, I love making nursing friends. I love to tell nursing jokes. I really love to tell nursing jokes. Nurses have this weird sense of humor that a lot of other people don't understand, and things like that is so funny to me. I just like talking about gross and disgusting things, and most things that I talk about and say people wouldn't even eat around me, and like while I'm eating lunch I'm like, girl. I just love that dry nurses. This is a humor that most people don't get, and I love sharing it with people who are just as fascinated about nursing as I am. It just makes your job a lot more fun, especially when you work with a good group of people. And that's one thing that I can say about the nurses that I've worked with. I have worked with some great, amazing nurses, and some of them I have formed the best bonds with. My bestie Lanita is actually a nurse. We met in nursing school, and I love her so much, and it's like she's my boo. So you meet really good people, really good nurses, and you guys have so much in common, and you find out that you have a lot of stuff outside of the nursing world that you have in common as well. Making a nurse bestie is like always the best. So that wraps up this video of why I love nursing, why I love my nursing job, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you are not a part of G Nation, make sure you join now. Like, what, like, why are you not a part of this yet? I need to know. So before you go, hit the subscribe button below, as well as turn on the notification bell, so that way you can always see my videos. Y'all know YouTube is making it real hard for content creators to push their videos out, and I want to make sure that you guys miss none of my videos. Okay, so make sure you do both of those things, as well as follow me on Instagram and IG. And until the next video, I'll talk to all of you huns later. Love you guys. Bye.
The dash is digi, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is a